We are in a series on History Alive old school strategies. That is, those core History Alive TCI strategies that have been part of the program from the very beginning. And today we're looking at graphically organized notes. In a previous session, we looked at the interactive student notebook. Graphically organized notes are one component of the interactive student notebook. So we're going to address this using three questions: why, how, and where can we utilize graphically organized notes? So let's take a look first at the why question. We used graphically organized notes because it is supported by brain research. Dual coding theory supports the idea that we can learn better through using linguistic and non-linguistic forms that are paired together. And that's really what the graphic organizer does. It brings together words, phrases, and sentences along with those visual representations, symbols, images, pictures. Graphically organized notes allow us to see relationships among concepts, to make meaningful associations, to discover patterns, to sort information, and to reflect on the information that we're learning. So when we utilize graphically organized notes, we're not simply recording information in a linear form. We are looking at it specifically to find the relationships, the associations, the patterns, to create and generate categories. So it requires us to be active in thinking about and processing information. So how can we utilize graphically organized notes in the TCI program? Again, think about it not just as recording information, but for students to be actively engaged in processing information, summarizing, and synthesizing. So we're going to take a look at our Bring Learning Alive guidebook, and we'll look at 9 examples of graphic organizers with descriptions and examples provided. So let's go out to our interactive menu, and remember this is always linked to the Social Studies homepage under the featured resources. So all of these are hyperlinked, and you can find graphically organized notes here in the corner, and this will pull up our chapter from the guidebook. Again, some introduction, background information on the importance of recording key ideas in graphically organized notes. And then here are the examples. So Venn diagrams. Students can use a Venn diagram as a graphic organizer to compare and contrast key figures, groups, concepts, and places. And then they provide you with an example of what that would look like related to the branches of government and the Constitution. Spoke diagrams. Here's a visual alternative to outlining. Spoke diagrams or webs are a powerful way for students to organize related pieces of information. And again, here's an example of what that can look like. The next strategy is illustrated outlines, where students can use a more traditional outline form, but add simple drawings or symbols to graphically highlight and organize their notes. So here again, that's dual coding theory. We're bringing together the written text along with visuals, and you can see the examples. Matrices, this is setting up a matrix, a good way for students to organize large bodies of information. Think of this as an organizational chart. So you can see the example that comes from our History Alive American History program. Annotated images, simple sketches of powerful images which students annotate with information that they have read in the textbook, can help them to understand difficult content. And again, you see the example here where the reformers are holding signs, and students will complete that as a graphic organizer. Illustrated timelines. A timeline is an important organizing tool that helps students to sequence a series of events in chronological order. And again, adding illustrations makes the sequence more memorable. Mind maps. To better understand the beliefs of important figures, students can fill in outline heads with quotations and paraphrased thoughts that represent the person they're learning about. T-charts. Students can use T-charts to compare classroom experiences with key social studies concepts or events, to contrast advantages and disadvantages of a topic, or to compare and contrast two different ideas. And again, here's an example of the use of a T-chart. And this one in particular is oriented towards the TCI experiential exercise. So when students have an activity in class through the experiential exercise, they then compare that to the historical examples. Sensory figures. Students can annotate simple line drawings of prominent figures to show the thoughts, feelings, and experiences identified with certain content or concepts. And here's an example from Egypt. So those are 9 examples of graphically organized notes, and you'll see these throughout your TCI program. So that brings us to the next question, which of course is then, where do we locate quality graphically organized notes or quality graphic organizers in order to have students generate graphically organized notes? So obviously many of these are embedded into your TCI interactive student notebook itself. And we went through the interactive student notebook, and you have options for how that can be done. That can be done using the TCI program platform. Its graphic organizers are already built into there, or you can go in and download PDF files of the interactive student notebook. So there are some already built into the existing program. But let's take a look at another source, and that is the TCI program support. So when we go over to our program support, this is Pursuing American Ideals. It will look a little bit different in each program where you find the resources for graphic organizers, but everything is always under the program and support. The program support is for you as the teacher. This is not something that's provided directly to students. This is where you as the teacher get additional resources. So in this program, it's under Social Studies Skills. And you can see it's near the top here, the Graphic Organizer Toolkit. They're also developing map skills, developing critical thinking skills. The most powerful and extensive one you're going to find is this document here, which provides, you can see all of the examples of graphic organizers that are provided. This is a very extensive collection from the 5W chart, a like and different chart. And as you scroll through this, you'll find that there are a variety of creative ones, some that you've seen before, no doubt, but others that may be creative and more oriented towards contemporary social media type graphics. So you can see here's an example of an art plaque, before and after chart. Facial expressions, again, that was one of the strategies emphasized in the guidebook. So all of these can be utilized with various TCI programs and in various TCI units and lessons. So it's quite an extensive collection. There are 77 pages that you can scroll through, and you can use this in a few different ways. Obviously, you can print any of these. They're designed to be fillable, that is, students can write in them, or you can also use these electronically in a third-party program such as Canvas, or you can use Kami if this is in Google Classroom, for example. But you can print an individual page to a PDF file. So anything that you can print on a printer, you can also print to a PDF file. And so you can just tell it you want page 12, for example. You do a file print, just tell it which page you want, and that becomes a new PDF file that's saved. So you can use these electronically as well. The third source for graphically organized notes comes from our CCS Social Studies Blended Learning Padlet. So this is something that we developed as part of remote learning and later transitioned it into blended learning. Right from the CCS Social Studies homepage, you see our TCI implementation resources are here. And below that, you'll find the Social Studies Blended Learning Padlet of Padlets. And if you go to these graphic organizers, these are in Google Drawings format. And so you can pull any of these up and click on Use Template, and that will make a copy that students can do online. These, of course, are printable as well. Now, if you find a graphic organizer that you like in the TCI program, it's really fairly easy. The mechanics of it don't take all that long to recreate a graphic organizer into a program like Google Drawings, or you can use Google Slides as well. It's really just adding shapes. You can have students do this as well. Really, the power in providing and having that PDF file available for you is to get the ideas out. The actual mechanics of creating it in Google Drawings really can be done in a matter of a few minutes. So if you don't find ones you like in this collection of Google Drawings here, you can certainly build your own. There's definitely some overlap in what you have here and what's available in the TCI program downloads, but you can always add your own. So those are just some quick ways to implement graphically organized notes in the classroom and to think about the questions of why do we do it and how do we do it, and then where we can locate graphic organizers.